Come on now. Come on. That's a beautiful thing. Some of you weren't alive in 2001. I get it, but some of us were. So that's an exciting thing. All right, we're going to stream over to YouTube, and we're now streaming on YouTube. Hey, do y'all like, oh, hey, did y'all like our, I hit the wrong thing there. Did y'all like our, um, uh, we put our money where our mouth is guarantee? I love it. If you weren't on the presentation, we have a new guarantee. It's we put our money where our mouth is guarantee. And it says this, where other businesses out there earn money on you, whether you earn money or not, because they charge startup fees and monthly fees and platform fees and system fees and training fees. And all of those are understandable. I can understand why all of those are charged. But what that does is it puts the profitability of that company is almost a guarantee whether you do well or not. And we said, you know what? We don't want to earn if you're not earning. I want to be able to sleep at night saying, hey, if you didn't earn a dollar, I don't want to make a dime yet. But if you make a dollar, I don't mind making a dime. Right. Um, Start meeting somewhere. That sounds like a good idea. So we've got this put your money where your mouth is guarantee that says we won't make a dime until you make a dollar. It's real simple. It means we're not charging you a fee. We're not earning on your training documents. We're not earning on your training experiences. And can you all not ask me to record Zoom? I keep getting blurbs on the screen and it's an interruption. All right. So if AI is AI, it's AI. If you're asking for AI notes, please don't ask for it. All right. We're getting a video here. If that's available for you, great. But it creates interruptions for us. All right. Sorry, I'm not a super pro on Zoom, and it can be a little distracting. And I don't want it to come up once we go to the whiteboard because I got to be able to see certain things. All right. So that's put your money where your mouth is guarantee. And I just say, hey, look at that for a minute. Look at that. Just like the $500 Visa card on Bank Breezy. If they can't beat your best offer, they're going to give you $500. I mean, that's not coming from you as the agent. That's coming from Bank Breezy. They're not taking it out of your future commissions. They're eating it. So get out there and lead with that guarantee. Get out there and lead with the boldness of our business funding platform. And then know this, we're not going to start charging you for training in the future. We're not launching this LMS so we can start adding a fee to it. We'll win when you win and no other way. And that's coming alongside of you. I got people who want me to do advertising. I say, hey, I'll do advertising with you if you do it on a performance basis. If I don't have to pay you anything up front, if we're doing it on, I'll pay you a percentage of all the fundings we do. So that if you're good, hey, good, I'll pay you. If you're not good, hey, you lose money. Neither one of us make money, but no one loses money. No, no, no. Okay, well, good for you then. Put your money where your mouth is guarantee, or we don't need to do business together. We do that, and you should ask that for every company you do business. Just because they can charge you doesn't mean they should charge you. Because if you're investing time, you want to be with partners who are investing time and confidence and boldness right back. Now, I will tell you, we lose money on a lot of agents who ask a lot of questions, and tie up our support department and never intend to talk to a client. And we understand that goes with the territory and we're okay with it. So we ask people to go get training the right way, like you're doing right now through our onboard training, and not waste support department's time if you're not going through the training and not really trying to be an agent. But man, if you're getting after it, we'll support you till the dying day. Anything we can do to help you win. All right, let's go to the whiteboard for our onboard training. And let's get this. Is this recording right now? Beautiful. All right, onboard training. Let's assume you just got started. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to your welcome letter. All right. In your welcome letter, you're going to have a few things. The most important thing in your welcome letter is access to other things. All right. Everyone asks, where do I get my links? Where do I get my links? Your welcome letter has all of your links that you need to use. All right. Links to your replicated website. Every page we have is replicated, meaning you can go from one page directly. If you want to send someone to the payment processing page directly, you can. The healthcare directly, you can. They don't have to find their way through your website. So targeted marketing can be done. We built it that way so that you have the ability to send out your replicated link. They're all available in your back office. The easiest way to remember it is whatever the website address is, davidallencapital.com/business capital. That is one of them. /ID number. Okay. Your ID number goes here. Or your member name. We allow you to use both. My member name, as an example, is Escape. So I can type Escape there, or I can put my ID number there. Whichever way you want to do it. If you don't have a member name, you just put your ID number. If you don't know your member name, if it's just your initials, whatever it is, it can go at the end there, and that'll take them directly to the business capital page. If you want to send them to the partner page for becoming an agent, then it's davidallencapital.com/partner/your ID number. All right. So all you do is add your ID number to the end of any page, and that's how links work. So you should have no problem finding your links. I'm looking for my eraser. There it is. All right. You should have no problem creating your links. Now, I will say this. Once you go to that site, this link drops off. So if you're going to copy, paste, and send, if you go to davidallencapital.com/your ID number and you go to that page, you'll notice your link suppresses. It's gone now. Your name's at the top, but if you copy paste, it didn't copy your ID number. You have to type your ID number in at the end before you send it. All right. So, or you just grab it from your welcome letter. You got that? Your links are right there. You can always get them from the support department, but the easiest way to remember it is just add your ID number to the end of any site. All right. Now, DACRC.com, DACRC.com. That is a resource center. That is where you'll go to get business funding training. That's where you'll go to get payment processing training. That's where you'll go to get healthcare training. That's where you'll go to get marketing materials. The way it is set up is across the top of the page, it'll say funding. Under funding, you'll have funding trainings. You'll have funding marketing resources. You'll have funding scripts. Everything related to funding is under the funding tab. Payment processing, same thing. Everything related to payment processing, guess where it is? Under the payment processing dropdown. And if you look across the top, you'll see various menus that you can choose, okay? So the first thing you need to do when you get started with this onboard-wise is know your links and all that, but then it's get yourself up to speed on the training. Now, in the near future, you won't be able to be an agent without going through the LMS to go through the funding training and some of the other stuff we're talking about today, frankly. You'll have to have already passed the quiz on the funding training. No one will be an agent who does not understand our funding buckets, the giggle, the biddy, the bank breezy, those funding buckets, the qualifications, the funding approval amounts, the average terms, the repayment, the daily payment and weekly payment versus monthly payment. They'll understand all that. They'll understand the platform. They'll understand when they're paid and when they're not paid. They'll understand everything there is to funding. It's not difficult. It's very easy. In fact, we have quick reference sheets who go over it all, but the LMS is going to require you go through that training. I can't require that yet because it's not live. I don't know if you've been through it or not, but I will tell you this. We don't want you being an agent if you've not gone through the funding training. The funding training video that exists right now on your Agent Resource Center, the DACRC, it's only an hour long. We don't want you being an agent without knowing that information, how the platform works. That presentation we just did that showed the value of our platform, it is spectacular. And it's why companies want to be partnered with Bank Breezy because of our platform. And then they want to be partnered with us because of our agent team. You've got a valuable commodity here, guys, called efficiency for business owners and best offer, right? So we're going to go to funding in a minute, but you're going to want to know that going in the LMS in the future, they're going to be, anyone you recruit is going to be trained up before they're even an agent. So that's great news. Policies and procedures. In the Agent Resource Center, there's a policies and procedures. The one I want you to pay most attention to right now is advertising and telemarketing, because you can get sued by people you call. It's called the TCPA. We don't want you getting sued. I'm starting with the scary stuff because business is business, right? If you if you open a daycare, your attorney is going to say, "Hey, we should put some legal protection in case a little kid trips in the backyard and cuts himself and gets stitches, and you didn't have the security or the safety sponge on the playground," right? So it's just part of business. It's real easy, but there's some policies and procedures. Number one, you cannot advertise David Allen Capital or Bank Breezy or any misspelling like that, Back Breezy, Banky Breezy, Bark Breezy, Bank Breezy, IEZYSY. You can't try to find traffic of people that are going to look based on someone else. If I tell my neighbor about DAC and Bank Breezy and they go do a Google search and find you because you're violating the advertising terms and advertising under the David Allen Capital name, you can't have that in your search terms. If you're averaging pay-per-click, LinkedIn, any of those things, you cannot advertise David Allen Capital or Bank Breezy. In fact, they're called negative match words. You must put them in as negative matches. So you want to make sure you read the marketing policies on what you can and can't do so that you're not violating those policies. If you get a client from someone who accidentally went to your website thinking they're going to the corporate site, then you're going to lose the commission on that. We're going to give it to the rightful person. Fortunately, we've only had to do that one time in our 10 years, 9.5 years. We've only had to do it one time. And it was someone who was completely violating the policies and procedures, hoping someone would trip into his site. And he made it look just like our corporate page. And so we obviously took that commission from him and gave it to the rightful person because the client told us, I'm not trying to apply them. I'm trying to apply with this one. So just make sure you read that. It's pretty simple. Also, telemarketing, TCPA rules. You cannot use automated dialers to make calls. You cannot use automated dialers to drop voicemails. You cannot use automated dialers to, like I think that covers all of them. You can't use voicemail drops. You can't use voice message drops. Those are all violations of the Telecommunication Consumer Protection Act. Don't do it. You can get sued. We've had 5 or 6 lawsuits in our history. We're going through one right now. And I had a demand from one in the last month saying some agent violated this, and they sue me and you. So we end up bearing you. If we lose, you end up bearing that burden, right? Because you're the one who caused it. So make sure you follow the TCPA rules. If you're calling a business owner, that's not a problem, but I would check the do not call list. If you're calling an advertised number, that's not protected by the TCPA. Okay, because it's for consumers at their home, their mobile phone, which is protected. If it's on the do not call list, even if it's not, if you call a consumer on their home or text them on their home number and they didn't give you authorization, they can sue you for violation of the TCPA Protection Act. So our funding training, we talk about how to get referrals and leads and how to do it the right way. So make sure you read the TCPA telemarketing rules on there, and also the advertising policies and procedures if you're going to do some advertising. All right. It's simple stuff. We got to protect our brand and we're also protecting you. Hopefully that makes sense. Game plan. One of the most important things you can do as you're getting started is schedule a private game plan with your enroller or your enroller's leader. What that does is just like if you're joining a gym and you've got you want to get in shape, you've got a personal trainer, it's them sitting down with a meal plan, workout plan, accountability plan, when we're getting together again plan, when we're doing our weigh-ins, right? It's called a game plan. We've got a game plan document that your team leader will want to do with you so that we can help you start on the fast path. All right. Now, can you succeed without this? Yeah. How many people go to the gym and say, I don't need a personal trainer. I know what I need to do. I'm good. Yeah, you can. But a lot of people can't. And a lot of people do better with the buddy system. The buddy system's proven. Jesus taught the buddy system to the disciples to go out and spread the gospel. And anyone else who's built a successful organization is taught the buddy system. Go 2 by 2 places because you got a partner. And when two people are together, there's a mastermind principle, right? You have the group think, group boldness, group confidence. There's two of us. There's a boldness there. Just like two people walking through a dark street after a concert feel more safe than one, two people working in this business together feel more emboldened than one. So buddy system is important. Game plan helps you win. I'm not going to do a game plan now. Just get one scheduled. It's like set up your appointment with your personal trainer. All right. Same thing. Facebook community. Join the DAC agent Facebook community. It's facebook.com/DAC agents. Go join that Facebook community, participate. You can ask questions there. Sometimes the answers aren't accurate. Just know that you're in a community and you're getting questions answered from people who may want to help, but may be incorrect. So it's best to go to support for your questions, but you can throw some things in the community. Just know that it's not support answering them. Sometimes I or support will answer there, but not always. So join the Facebook community though. Also, join and follow all of our social pages, LinkedIn, Facebook, corporate page, Instagram, and YouTube, so that when we post things, you're notified and you can share them. I've got new agents this week from a video I put up on YouTube. I've got people on this presentation right now because of a YouTube video I shared this morning. So these are videos we make for my use, because I use them. I get paid as an agent just like you, and for the use of all of you. Anytime I do a video, I don't put my personal website in it. Anytime we build a video, we don't put our personal website in it. We put the generic site so that it can be used by anybody. When you share it, of course, put your information in the comments, right? Or tell people to DM you or message you and you'll send them your link, whatever. So join all the socials, like and follow, and be active at sharing. I can only tell you that it helps me. I'm not a big advertiser. I'm working on that, but I am someone who believes in social posts will let the world know you're serious. If a year from now you're still posting on business funding, and any business owner you know needs funding, they need it 6 months from now, they're going to call you. But if you put one post up and never do it again, you don't record any videos, you don't share your testimony. In this business funding training, we're about to go through some of it, abbreviated, but in the business funding training that's an hour long, we talk about how to make your own testimonial video. You know, some of you were on the call today and you heard Wade jump on and say, someone applied this morning, got approved for 100 and something thousand. They took 65 and they were funded in 2 hours, 2 hours from the time they applied, already funded. That's a testimonial that you should say, isn't that crazy, guys? Or take some of the bullet points you just learned in the presentation or on the calls we do and do a video of it. My daughter, Michaela, who helps with some of our social media, all of our social media for that matter, if I'm not creating it, she said, hey, I saw the email you sent out to the field yesterday. There's some great stuff in there. Can I swipe some things out of there to put it in the social media? Yeah, so can you. I hope you will, all of you. If we give stuff, it's okay for you to use it. All right, we built it for you to use. Daily Zooms, guys, this is a big time bonus. Most people charge you to be in their inner circle. Okay. You guys are watching the waiting room, right? Because I see it collecting. And I don't know if it just shows on my screen and not yours, but I hope McGuire, Tyler, Sharon, Wade, I hope you guys are watching that and hit enter. Allow them to enter if they are, because I see them collecting. All right, cool. So daily Zooms. These are pro tips. These are pros coming in. And most people charge to be part of the inner circle. I hear people doing programs on how to charge high ticket coaching, and you show them about the inner circle, and they can pay $19.95 to be on a live weekly Zoom. And are you kidding me? And people pay it because it's high value. When you got Wade Cordell on a Wednesday afternoon, and tomorrow he's going to be on at 11:30 a.m. He's a pro. He's helped thousands of businesses get funding. He's talked to hundreds of businesses who didn't like the offer, but he helped them understand it, or told hundreds of businesses they shouldn't take the offer because their use of funds was not good, or they were just trying to pay something, but they weren't going to be able to pay it back because their business was going down in the tubes and it was just going to put them in a bad situation. It was going to make their issues worse. Wade would help them. He's coming on tomorrow at 11:30 to share some notes. but he's primarily there to take questions. You can only talk about a simple thing so many times. He's there for you to say, hey, Wade, what do you recommend I do with this? Hey, Wade, how about this? So when he says, hey, anyone got any questions? Man, I'd have a list of questions. I call Wade 2-3 times a week with, hey, what would you do on this? Maybe it's once a week, but it's a lot. And I've been doing this for 9 years. Right? How do I still have questions for how Wade to handle it? Because I don't have the same background as him. I have a hunch, but I don't know until I ask him. Right? And bring it to the Wednesday call. These Wednesdays. Tuesdays is team building. I did team building today. I built teams I've got 3 organizations right now that all of them are over 500,000 people, all 3 of them. And you know what's interesting? I was on the team call today. I could charge 50 grand to work one-on-one with people on how to build a massive team in the home-based business space. And instead, I'm just on here talking and sharing and saying, who wants to ask questions? And all of you have the opportunity to do that. Then we have the leadership on Monday. So leadership Zoom Monday, team building Tuesday, funding Wednesday, payment processing Thursday, agent updates Friday. And we're going to have more and more people participating in those. But these are pro tips you can ask. There's people who pay all kinds of, I'm paying $5 grand to go to an event in a month to meet with people because there's only 100 people allowed. I'm willing to pay 5 because all I need is one answer and it's worth $5 grand. So I get it. I get why they can charge that. But hopefully it doesn't diminish the value because we don't charge for it. Hopefully you don't realize, if you haven't recognized, Wade has created millions of dollars in funding monthly. He's built teams, organizations, and he owned his own network marketing company, successfully built it and sold it. And he was a top producer in Excel and a top producer in ACN, top 10 producer in ACN 20 years ago. He's built massive organizations. He knows more than just funding. Right? Ellen Wynn has built massive organizations in different places. We've got other people who've built big groups. We've got people on here right now that are 7-figure money earners outside of our industry. Do you think they can bring some savvy to the business? Every time Carl speaks up, can you tell he's got some wisdom? Hopefully you can. So the daily Zooms, plug in, be there live. If you can schedule it, it's lunchtime for many of them on the East Coast. If you can't be there live, we get it. But try to be there live so you can take advantage of live discussion. We're going to go to funding, but before we do, I wanted to talk one more thing on the Resource Center. Vistaprint. If you want to print business cards, we've got a Vistaprint store, the DAC corporate store. We don't make a penny on any of that stuff. The price is the price. If you can get it cheaper locally, we've got the designs in the Resource Center. We've got the designs in the Resource Center. You can download them, take them to your printer and print them. I just had a bunch of cards. This is an example of one card from Vistaprint. I just got a bunch of business cards printed at my local printer. I downloaded it. I took it to them because I needed them that day before I traveled. I didn't want to wait for Vistaprint, and they actually seemed to be a little better quality. They cost me more, but you have the freedom to do that. So if you want to print cards like this, which are super effective, or business cards, they're all available in the Resource Center, and you can link to the Vistaprint store. Some of them are already there. For shirts, hats, things like that, they're available at the corporate store. If you want to download and make your own, the materials are in the Resource Center. If you're going to create something with our logo on it, we got to approve it. If it's already made by us, of course, we don't need to approve it. But if you're doing something, make sure it's got the independent agent logo on it. You don't create your own stuff. You don't put David Allen Capital, act like an employee. I've had probably 20 documentation requests from car companies and landlords and people saying, yeah, they say they work for you. They're an employee of your company. Of course, I cannot lie, and I must tell them, no, sorry, they're an independent agent. They're not an employee, and I can't share what they earned unless they tell me to share what they've earned. So, you know, you're an independent agent. We're partners in this, but just know that you got to follow the routine. All right, let's talk funding. Let's talk funding, how simple this can be, because I want you to know how simple this is. The funding platform, again, if you were on the training, we just did banks. Why are we needed? Number one, business owners are rock stars, but unfortunately, 6 and 10 are breaking even or losing money. 8 and 10 are not eligible for bank loans. 10 out of 10 have good ideas that could grow their business if they had funding. And if they're not making a profit now, they want to make a profit. They've got ideas. They wish they could expand. They wish they can open another location. The average coffee shop in America makes $19,000 a year. That means if you want to make a real living, you need 3 of them. Right? So you go to your local coffee shop, it looks cool. It's got cool cups. It's got the cool savory smell, comfy chairs, and everyone's just having a good old time. They're probably making about 20 grand a year. That's it. They bought a job. So they need a second location and a third, but they can't get the funds because they don't own that building and they're not making enough profit and they can't put up real estate. So they're stuck. And 2 years later, you see for lease sign goes up. But if you talk to them and you talk to them about their goals and you say, hey, have you heard of the Bank Breezy funding platform? See, you can't get approved at a bank. And if you can get approved at a bank, you don't have the time. So you need collateral, right? You need 2+ years of high profits. And the profit needs to be 125% of your payment, usually. So if you're only making $1,000 a year, you're not eligible to make a payment. If you're making 100 grand a year, well, then you're eligible to make a payment of about 7,000 a year. So now you got to go back and say, what can I, it's a, $500 a month. So what kind of loan? Okay, we can approve you for 15 grand. I mean, it's not like what we can do. So we don't look at profitability. We look at revenue. Right, so profitability, you need big time profit for 2+ years. What else? You need collateral, time, a FICO score. You need a 700+ FICO score usually, sometimes 680. I already said collateral, so that wipes out 85% of the businesses. So, but 10 out of 10 have good ideas. So a new industry came along called alternative funding, alternative business funding that said, hey, rather than needing collateral, we'll look at your revenue. If you're doing revenue, that's good enough for us, okay? Time, instead of it 2 to 3 months that you don't have time for, we'll do it in 1 day, maybe 2 days. 2+ years in business? No, we'll do it in 4 months. 125% profit, we're not looking at your profit. We're only looking at revenue. You got to be doing 15K a month or more. Now, I'm going to show you, we do have some funders that'll do under 15K, our instant funders, but we're not really even leading with that. It's just one of the fall off things we do for people. I will talk about it here, but I just want to mention 15,000 a month in funding plus, instead of worrying about your profit. FICO 700, no. If you got a 500 FICO score and you're doing the revenue, the higher the FICO, the better. But hey, if you're doing 500, we got providers, as long as you're doing the revenue, right? So this is not one provider. There's over 100 providers. There's 100 alternative providers. Here's the problem. Not one of them is the best for every business. In fact, not one of them is even the best for 30% of the businesses. And so the problem is all these business owners, millions of them, say, oh, I've heard of revenue-based funding. I went and applied at Rocket Mortgage's company called Rapid Finance. They declined me, so I'm not eligible. No, just because they declined you doesn't mean you're not eligible. It could be the industry you're in. It could be how long you've been in business. It could be your sales. It could be that they're out of money this quarter. It could be that they're not funding construction companies this quarter because of the drought. It could be they're not funding grocery stores because of the egg prices. There's all kinds of logic and reasoning that changes month by month. So you can't say you're not eligible because Rapid Advance. Well, I applied it on deck through QuickBooks. QuickBooks sent me an offer that I might be eligible for on deck loan. So I applied it on deck lending and I got declined. Okay, that doesn't mean you're going to get declined today with us. That means on deck's not going to approve you today. But we don't represent just on deck or Rapid. We represent all of them. So instead of saying, this is amazing, by the way. Alternative funding is amazing. And the approval amounts are 1 to 2x your monthly revenue. Approval amounts are 1 to 2x your monthly revenue. Generally, can they be lower? Yes, they can be lower, especially if you already have a loan or if your profit margin's real low. You're selling a commodity. You bring in $100, but it costs you 90 to deliver it. You're only making 10. You're going to get approved for less. You do $100 in revenue and you only cost $40 for the cost of goods, and you got $60 in gross profit. You're going to get approved for a higher amount. It's not all apples are the same, but on average, 1 to 2 times monthly amount is what your approval is going to be. Cost. I should have showed you this a minute ago. 1.18 to 1.5x. Now, our instant funders sometimes charge more than that, 1.18 to 1.5x. That means if you get 10,000, you're paying back 11,800 to 15,000. We don't determine this. This is of all those 100 providers out there, you're going to pay 1.18 to 1.5x. A bank loan over 5 years is generally about 1.34 at 12%. 5-year loan, about 1.34. But the difference is you get 5 years, so your payment's going to be lower. You're still paying 1.34. And you put collateral up, and you had to get approved, and it took you 3 months, and you had to have a business plan to prove the, right? So alternative funding blows away bank funding. That's why they've done billions. Hundreds of billions have been lent out through alternative funding. But this is your range. It's just like I say, Marlo's going to Phoenix on Friday, and she went and looked at airline flights, and she said, well, flights will range between 250 and 900. Yeah, because it depends how many flights are left on that flight. It depends on whether it's a nonstop or not. There's a lot of things, right? So she goes to Travelocity. Oh, here's one for 240. Here's one for 290. Which one do I want to take? I'm not even looking at the ones for 400, right? Isn't that common sense? That's what we do. We don't determine this. Our platform just determines the best price. We don't determine this. The business's performance does, their industry, their time in business, and the lender that approved them, right? But what happens is when they go to alternative funding, our platform, one application with us, we then go and say, we'll try OnDeck, we'll try Rapid, we'll try Vox, we'll try Spartan, we'll try Credibly, we'll try, and we just go through the whole mix. And then what happens is we get a bunch of declines and a bunch of approvals. And then we take the best approval and we pass it. Now, if we got approved at a B level, we don't even have to apply at the C. Because C's, they're going to charge the highest amount, and you already got approved at a 1.33. Why would we send it to someone who we know their minimum is 1.45? Because it's high risk. Right? So we have a waterfall process. Wade's team has a process that goes to a first batch and then a second batch and a third batch. And all this is within an hour or two, right? I mean, it's fast moving because we go right to the front of the line. We don't have delays in underwriting, right? So we're going to go find out of these 100 plus providers, 80 of them we don't want to touch. They gouge and hope you miss a payment. So they can exercise the clause, the fee clause, and it costs you $500 because you had a $72 payment bounce. So there's a bunch of companies out there who just gouge, and there's a bunch of companies out there who sell your information as soon as you get a funding, and they sell it to someone up the street who come alongside and try to get you to get more money at a higher cost. There's others who sell you to debt collectors, and there's a bunch of scammy companies out there, people who just want to make now money. We've been doing this 10 years. We've got a reputation. COVID came, we didn't close. We only did $5,000 in revenue 1 month in COVID, only $5,000. Most every funder that we knew that of all these funders closed, but the top 30 or 40 stayed in business. And most people who represented them shut down. We didn't. And we moved right up to the top of the list of, wow, these guys are deadly serious. They're not quitting for nothing. That's right. I know that's a double negative, but it's a slang, right? And so what happens is of these 100, we don't talk to 80 of them. We talk to 20 or 30 of them. And we're always interviewing new ones, the new latest one, or someone left this company to start their own company and they want to work with us again, right? That's how we met Giggle. The founder of Giggle used to work at OnDeck. He knew our reputation from OnDeck. He left to start Giggle and said, hey, you guys are the rock stars. Can we partner together? And we knew him. And so things like that happen. But for the most part, we got these 20 or 30 providers who can support all these businesses. The other 80 we won't touch. So that 1 5-minute application, we then put it to this system, the Bank Breezy team does. You don't have to. And then what happens is they present the best offer. So we don't have to work. Alternative capital beats this. But now in alternative capital, when you look at all those funders, you're silly to go to one and think that's the only answer. But yet you don't want to waste time applying to 25 providers. You don't want to waste time hearing 25 declines or 25 approvals. You don't want to do any of that. You don't want to upload your bank statements to 25 times. You don't want to spend a half hour on 25 applications each, and you'll spend 12 hours this week applying at places and all that for what? And then they don't give you the best offer because they don't know you're competing with them. They don't know that, and you got to start now. You're negotiating. Well, I might have a better offer here, and there's no negotiation required with Bank Breezy. You fill out that, the client fills out that application, OnDeck knows. If we don't beat Credibly, Credibly's getting this deal. Credibly knows. Credibly sent 3 emails today. The final time I'm checking on this client. Wait, said, listen, we got a better offer at Rapid. Sorry. You know the deal. Sorry, we're not taking your offer. So they know they're going to do the work of underwriting and approving an offer, and then we not take it. They give us their best offer. There's no negotiation required. Wade doesn't have to go, hey, remember who we are. They approve Credibly, who's a great company here in Michigan. They probably, for every 10 deals they approve, we probably take one of them. That's it. But we got that approval. Sometimes they're better than OnDeck or Rapid, right? Usually they're not. But sometimes you got an industry they love. And we don't know. Sometimes it's based on the month. So here's what you need to remember. It's absolutely foolish for a business to apply to any alternative funder on their own because it's a crapshoot whether they find the right one, number one. And number two, even if they get the best approval, it's going to still be more than it would have been through us because they're not just going to give a generic offer. They're going to give a low offer through us. The friends and family deal, if you will. It's going to be the Bank Breezy deal. Now, because of that, Bank Breezy said, hey, we always have the lowest deal. Let's give a guarantee. Let's give the $500 guarantee. So we've got the $500 guarantee on our website. So do you see the logic? Business owners exist. They can't get approved at banks. So alternative capital comes to the market. Alternative funding, that's this group right there. Daily, weekly payments, so you don't have cash flow issues rather than monthly default payments, monthly late fee payments. I can't afford that $6,000 payment, but I could have easily afforded $500 a day or $250 a day for 20 days. I could have easily afforded the $250 a day because I'm doing $3,000 a day in sales. I wouldn't have missed the $250. But man, I don't have $5,000 now and it's due because my rent's due the same day. My car payments are due the same day. And all of a sudden you're not paying your loan payment and you got late fees starting to pile up. But you got another $5,000 due in a month. So daily payments and weekly payments save these businesses. A lot of them aren't sure. They go, what's this cash flow stuff, daily and weekly? I don't know about that. It saves them. They can't get approved at a monthly payment place. And the default rates are lower with ours than big banks. Is that crazy? Default rates with us are lower than big banks and we approve them in hours. So they need funding. Banks can't help them. Alternative funding can. Prices are what they are. We get them the best offer and they can say no to it. And we don't charge them a penny. And we get them the best offer. We get them the $500 gift card. You know how many times we've had to give that $5 gift card out since we launched this bonus about 3 years ago? We launched this guarantee. You know how many times we've given the money out? Put it this way. I don't know how to buy a $500 gift card, nor does Wade, because not one time have we had to do it. Not one time. How many times? Not one. So that's what you can assure. Now, here's the downside with our space for you as an agent. You're going to hear, oh, you're not going to hear this, but you're going to think this, possibly. You're only making, 3 to 8% of the funding. Do you know if you go direct, you can make, 14 points, 15 points? Do you know you can make 12 points at this company and 14? Well, we can make 22 points and pay you 12. Hey, we can make whatever we want to make. We just add to it. You want us to pay you 12? Okay, then we got to charge the client because we pay your enrollers and we pay their up team and we got to make a profit. And so, okay, we'll just charge 29% on to what they're already paying. So instead of 1.4, we're going to charge 1.74. And yeah, we can pay you 12 points. That's what these companies do. It's ridiculous how they burn business owners. These are already expensive. All money is. Collateralized bank loans at 12% is expensive. Paying 1.18 to 1.5 is expensive. All money is. To add another 5 or 6 points, 10 points, right onto the payment so you can make a higher commission. Who's that looking out for? You, right? Well, some people say I'd rather look out for me than my clients. Okay, I know. And they work for people all over the internet calling your clients. So that's why the best offer, no one who's presenting the offer to your clients gets a commission. So you do, but we determine the price, right? You can't tell us to mark it up more and market. We could, some of them max us out. The good ones max you out. You can't charge any more than a certain amount, but not all of them. Most of them out there are like, yeah, put whatever you want on it. They'll take it. Hey, we'll charge them. We get you whatever you add to it. Like a used car lot, $500 car, and you found someone willing to pay $3,000. Oh yeah, we'll charge you $3,000 when it's really a $1,900 car or $1,700 car, right? So it's the same thing with this. So I want you to understand the philosophy of this business funding as you get started, because the platform is not negotiable. There's nothing better out there than it. There's other lead sources. They call themselves funding platforms, and you apply, and they're not working with all. They sell it immediately. A buddy of mine used to be the CFO of Rocket Mortgage, and Rapid Advance is owned by Rocket Mortgage. So Rapid Advance, I forget the name of the company, Wade, maybe you remember, but there's a lead company out there. If someone goes to that lead company and types it in, and we submit the same client, Rapid Advance is sorry, we got to give it to this other people. It's the only company that we don't have because they give them thousands of leads a day, but they also give those same just everyone else. It's something like, I don't know. I forget the name of it. It's one of the companies you see for online mortgages. It's an Lending Tree. That's it. Lending Tree.
Yep,
Lending Tree
Lending
is not a
Tree.
lending platform. Yeah, thank you, Wade. Lending Tree is not a platform. Lending Tree is a lead broker. They get you to fill out the lead. They sell your lead to 50 people, and then you start getting 100 calls, and it blows your mind, drives you nuts. And then you're mad at Lending Tree, and they make $50 a lead. Right? Well, we don't do that. We don't sell. We actually work with the client, present the client. Wade's team presents to the client. So there's nothing that can touch this. Do you see where the funding platform fits? Do you see why $2,500 a month is what the license fee is to be co-branded partnered with Bank Breezy? $2,500 a month. And you got to do millions monthly in funding before that $2,500 comes down. You guys don't have to pay a fee. It's covered by us. So I wanted you to see the philosophy of why we exist and why the platform is so special, so that when you're talking to clients, you understand how they're hurt if they don't know about you. They're actually going to overpay if they don't know about you. They're going to pay more than they need to pay. They don't know about the friends and family Bank Breezy platform. They don't know about the $500 guarantee. They don't know about it at all. Now, so that's the philosophy. Number one, our platform. When someone applies, they're going to go to 3 places. Most are going to go over here to Bank Breezy, bigger funding. Okay. Some are going to go to Giggle, instant funding. Some are going to go to Biddy, instant funding. Instant means same day automated funding. So based on their answers, and the quick reference sheet shows you this, but I'm going to give you a generality. If they're doing $2,000 to $5,000 in monthly sales, or they have a personal bank account, they don't have a business bank account, and this is all in the quick reference sheet, so I'm going through this quick, they're going to go to Giggle. Giggle is going to approve them 25 to 50% of their monthly revenue. Their job income can't count. This is only their DoorDash revenue or their Uber revenue or their farmers market revenue, whatever they do. If they're doing $2,000 to $5,000 or a personal account, they're doing $100,000 a month, but they're using a personal bank account. They're not a business, and they're going to go to Giggle, instant funding for individuals. You got to be in business 4 months. You got to be doing $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Sorry, not 2, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. You're going to get only approved 25 to 50%. These you're paid monthly, and you get about half commission. You're paid on the 20th of the month for all last month's fundings. Okay. Now, if a funding defaults in the first week, never makes the first payment, you don't get paid. So that happens to about 7% of these clients. This is not where you want to focus, because even if you get a funding there, it's only an $800, $900 funding. You're getting half commission. So you're getting about 2 points of $800. It's $160. You're not making a lot of money on these. Okay. I'm not saying don't have them, but don't lead there. Biddy, if you're doing $5,000 to $15,000 in revenue, $5,000 to $15,000 a monthly revenue, and you have a business bank account, and you have to have a FICO score of a certain number and stuff. But as long as you have that, then you're going to Biddy. Biddy is also an online instant funder. Online instant funder just simply means you link your bank account. Giggle is an online instant. You link your bank account. You don't have to upload statements. You link your bank account. If you don't know your password to your bank online banking, you can't link your bank account. You are called declined. If you try to link and you have your password wrong, you're declined. You got to be able to link your bank. These are instant. There's no human beings looking at this until they've linked their banks. And they're not going to go out of the way for you. These are like applying for a credit card. If you can't do it online and you don't know how to link your bank or put in your bank credentials, your route, your username and password for online bank, sorry, business owner, you're declined. They're not built to support you, meaning Biddy and Giggle. They don't provide agent support for you. It's an online instant funder. We've talked about doing away with these and just saying you got to be 15 grand and higher because of the amount of uneducated agents who call us for support on this. Why can't I help my client who can't link their bank? Because no one's going to help your client. They got to go learn their credentials, username and password, and they got to enter them correctly. And then even if they enter them correctly, they may have a setting at their bank that says don't allow third-party banks to link, like Plaid or Decision Logic. So if they got that setting, they got to turn that off. They may or may not know how. Giggle can't be on the phone giving them directions to give them an $800 funding and spend an hour and a half teaching them how to change their credentials. Unfortunately, they're just not going to do that. And neither can you. So know that going in. If you don't want to deal with these, don't send anyone who's doing less than $15,000 a month. These are not high customer service things. These are high tech, low check, low support. Okay, that's these. Biddy is going to approve you only for about 75% of your monthly revenue. And again, you got to be able to link your banks and get approved. So these are not this is not where you want to be swimming. Once in a while, you may cast a line and it falls over in this pond and you make a little commission. It gets a $4,000 funding. Right. And you make your and it's a low payout too. It's not even a high payout, high bonus revenue. So you may only earn, 2%, 2.5% of that $4,000. Right. So 10% of $4,000 is 400. So 2% is $80. Right. So it's not even, or 150, yeah, $80. It's not even worth it. You don't want the time and aggravation with these. It's good to have them if you got someone who wants to apply, but don't go cast and go, I'm going to look for bluegill. I'm going to just fish for bluegill all day long. Oh, look, I caught a sunfish. It weighs a little more. I can actually get one little fillet out of it. But my goodness, is a lot of work to clean those fish for one little bite of fish. I'd rather catch a super tuna, right? And the good news, the work is easier on these. 15K and higher, 3 months bank statements uploaded, driver's license uploaded, and 80% get approved. And you don't have any headaches. Bank Breezy is talking to your client. They are customer service focused, but they won't help someone who's not doing $15,000 a month. They won't help someone who doesn't upload their 3 months bank statements. Now, we have a team that helps them. So this is the way it works. They fill out the platform. They answer some questions, $15,000 a month or more. They've been in business at least 6 months. They're doing, they got a FICO score, and they've got a business bank account, biz bank account. That's the biggest thing. It's a personal bank account. Remember, it goes here. They got a business bank account. Now they go to the Bank Breezy application. So they're in the applet. You get an email after they answer the basic questions. They ask questions right here. And after they answer those 4 questions, you get an email. Congratulations, you've got a client who started the funding applet at Bank Breezy. We have sent them to Giggle. We have sent them to Biddy. We have sent them to Bank Breezy Bigger Funding based on their answers. This funnel, it's all automated. You get that first email. Now, if they go here, you'll get status updates from them, banks linked or banks not linked. Approval, decline, funded. You'll get some status updates, right? Here, when they go here, you get your first email that they complete and we sent to Bank Breezy. You're going to get another email after they complete their app and upload 3 months bank statements. All right? They're going to complete an app and they're going to sign that app online. It takes them about 4 minutes. The longest time is selecting their 3 PDFs to upload. It's name, address, phone number. Owner name, address, phone number. That's it. upload 3 months bank statements, upload a driver's license and a voided check, and sign. You're going to get another status update. So you get a status update here when they've completed these questions. You're going to get another status update here when they've completed the app. It's going to say completed application. 30% of the people never complete this. They get stalled. We have a phone number right here to the Bank Breezy team that they can call, because usually they stall when it comes time to upload their bank statements. They can call and talk to them. We also have a stall team that reaches out to them, but we don't reach out to them until next day or following day. We don't reach out real time. You as an agent can. So if you have someone who you get an email here at 11 o'clock a.m. that says, applet completed, we sent to Bank Breezy. If you don't get an answer by 11:15, another email that says, client completed, this one will say completed application. This is started and sent to Bank Breezy. This is completed. If you don't get the email that says completed, what does that mean? Stalled. Call them. You've got their number in the email that came here. Call them, hey, are you having any problem with that application? Are you struggling to get through? What issue are you having? Tyler, go ahead and unmute yourself if there's something you want to say to correct that.
Yep. I just want to also add in that we do send out stalled emails to agents as well. Stalled notification email.
When does that go out?
It usually goes out. No, it usually goes out about 30 minutes after, or between 15 to 30 minutes after they start their application. The system will trigger them as stalled.
Come on, that's an improvement, guys. That's an improvement. Love it. So you'll get a stall email too. So you don't just have to do math on started, didn't complete. You're going to get a stall email at your email. So keep an eye on that, obviously. Great work, Tyler. Thank you. So they can call the number and talk to our internal team who can help them. Usually they just, hey, I just want to talk to someone before I go through the work of finding my bank statements and upload them. I just need to talk to someone, and they'll talk to them or they'll talk to you. And that's all they need. Our stall team, with every person they talk to, they generally get about, 50 to 60% of the people will complete their app of the ones who stall. So once it goes through there, the Bank Breezy team gets the best offer, presents the best offer, overcomes any questions or clarity issues. You'll get status updates, emails, and in your DAC back. So you'll get emails and from Bank Breezy, and in the DAC back office under your personal customers, under funding, you'll see the customer start when they move through this process, status updates along the way. And then when it funds, you'll get a funded email. The funded email will tell you the funded amount. It'll even tell you the expected commission date, and it'll tell you your bonus revenue amount, okay, that you're getting your percentage on. It gives you an expected commission date because we always pay you the day after we're paid. But sometimes we're not paid when we expect to be paid. So it's an expected date. It's not a guaranteed date. It's an expected date. And then what happens is once we are paid, a new button, a new status, a pay agent is hit. You're given an email. Congratulations. We are now ready to pay you. Tomorrow you'll be paid, or next business day. Tomorrow it'll also count as your engaged date, amped up date, and whatever it is. So whenever you're paid, that's your official funded date. It's not officially funded until your official paid date in your DAC system. Just because it's moving along, it's funded by the funder. Bank Breezy has been paid to pay DAC. DAC is paying you. It's really not an official customer as far as you're concerned for qualifications or anything else until it hits DAC's commission system, which is the day after you get that email that says pay commission is okay. Tomorrow you'll be paid. All right. So those are all automated processes. You can get that in the quick reference sheets. Now, knowing that, what is the approval amount of a bigger funding? Remember, I had it all up here, I erased it. Generally 1 to 2 times monthly revenue. What's the approval amount of a giggle? Generally about 25 to 50% of the monthly revenue. What's the approval amount of a giggle? Generally about 75% of the monthly, biddy, about 75% of the monthly revenue. Okay. Can I talk to someone here in customer service? No. Can I talk to here and someone? No. Both of them, though, send texts and emails to your client. Your client can talk to them. They'll talk to clients. They won't talk to you as an agent. They're not agent support, but they are customer support. If a customer says, I filled out the form and I couldn't link my bank, believe me, they're getting a text says, hey, you didn't link your bank. Do you need help? From Giggle. Same thing from Biddy. They're getting emails and texts, but you're not. Okay, so if they call you, they're moving through the process. Now, I would just say personally, I want to help these customers because they'll become these customers one day. Maybe they'll become payment processing customers or healthcare customers. I just wouldn't lead with that product. Don't go looking for it. You're in the business of helping businesses grow, and you're also in the business of making a business profit for yourself. Just like if I own a donut shop, I wouldn't tell them to sell cashews if the last batch of cashews you bought didn't sell. Eventually, it's not worth selling cashews. And I wouldn't tell you to be in business and lead with this. Unless you can get 100,000 customers a year at $100 each, well, then it's worth it. Or $50 each, then it's worth it. You're making $500,000, right? Or you actually be making a lot of money on that. So if you can get 100,000 customers, go for it. But that means you'll have about 700,000 apply. Because of all the people who start here, only half link their banks. 70% of them get approved, but only 30% of them take the offer. So it's a low funding here. And then 7% don't make their first payment in default. You don't earn a commission. We don't earn a commission. So it's not a real good business, but it's good to offer it for some. Bidding's a little better. This is where you want to focus. Right here. All right. That's your focus. The bank breezy, bigger funding. That's where you want to be. All right. Hopefully that answers the questions on the platform. On the approval amounts. Now I want to show you repayments real quick. So platform buckets, biddy, giggle, qualification. Already did that. I already wrote those up over there. Approval amounts and terms. I just want to show this again. I'm going to talk bigger funding only. The best we're going to get is 1.18 to it's generally 1.5. Sometimes we have over 1.5. That's going to be their cost. The approval is 1 to 2x monthly revenue. It is never guaranteed to be that high. Many times it's only 75% or 50% of their monthly revenue because their business isn't real strong. So if they're doing 100,000 a month and they only get approved for 60, don't go, why? Why'd they only get approved for 60? There's reasons why. Believe me, if over 20 providers, the best offer we got was 60, we probably got 17 declines. All right. So the more arguing, what you really want to see is that's a gift. That's a gift. When you get someone who gets funded in 2 hours, that one, all 20 approved, right? But the best funder with the lowest price, online checkout, boom, was done. So if you got a lower approval amount, just know this, the Bank Breezy team worked harder. Talk to more lenders, right? So just know that. And if your client says, you told me, the average is 1 to 2, but sometimes it can be less. Rarely is it 2 times. And it can be less than 1. So you don't want to lead with 1 to 2 times. You want to know that's the average range, but it could be less. Always tell a client that. In fact, what I tell people is, well, I said, how much are you doing a month? I'm doing 100,000. Okay, what are you looking for? I'm looking for 400,000. Yeah, we're not the right source for that. You're not going to get approved for 400,000 in alternative funding. A bank would probably approve you for at 100,000 a month. Generally, they'll approve you for 150 or so with collateral. With us, we might be able to get you 1 to 200, but I'm sorry, you just can't get 400,000. No, you could get 100 from us now and get another 100 in 6 months, another 100 in 6 months, right? But it's just not, I mean, just get right to the point. Don't go, cool, someone wants to apply, they want 400. Yeah, they're not going to get approved for 400. They're going to be frustrated because they're only going to get offer for 72. Joe, I told you I want 400. Why'd you have me go apply? Well, because I was excited to have a client who wanted to apply. Just tell the truth. And then you'll have people thank you for not wasting the time, right? No one who's doing 100,000 is going to get 400,000. It just doesn't exist, right? They're going to have to get private money or put up a house that costs, 700,000 and put it up as collateral. Maybe they'll get a mortgage. So just know 1 to 2 times monthly is best case. But I always tell people like 50, you're doing 100, you're going to anywhere from probably 50 to 150. I always go to half to 1.5. Knowing that I can surprise them and get 180. But if they come in with 72, they're not upset. So I always like to quote half of monthly revenue to 1.5 monthly revenue. Unless they go, I really need 190 and I'm doing 100. We might be able to get you that. I can't promise, or maybe we can get you 120 now and 70,000 more in 4 months or something. Could it be staggered? Well, yeah, it could be staggered. I don't need it all today. Okay, great. Yeah, let's see what we can get you. So 1.1 to 2, but again, I like to quote half to 1.5. times their monthly revenue, just for simplicity, 1.18 to 1.5. I like to say 1.2 to 1.5. This is hard to thing, but just so you know, it is 1.18. That means if they get 100,000, they're going to pay back 118 to 150, right? And the term is going to determine the daily payment. So let's say they're at a 1.3. So they got to pay back 130,000. Okay, they're paying back. That's a 1.3. And that's the best offer. It means we got a lot of declines. Okay. But we would have got a lot of approvals for people to charge 1.4, 1.5, right? So 1.3, if that's the best offer, know that there's a lot of declines in there. And so it's a good thing they came to us. Because if they would have went to one of the TV guys, they were declined. If they went to Quicken Mortgages, Chase Bank's referral, Amex's referral, declined. Okay, because they're all using some of the same providers we use. And they would have been declined, but they got approved for this. Okay, cool. So you're paying 130, and let's say it's a 12-month term. Why is it 12 months? Well, because the funder looks at it and says, how much can they afford to pay back? They can afford to pay back 130. It's 12 months. That'd be 240 daily payments. There's about 20 payments per month. 20 daily payments, Monday through Friday. There's no payments on weekends. So there's about 20 payments a month, 240 daily payments in a 12-month period. So what's 130 divided by 240 payments?
541.
Thank you, Wade. $541 a day is what they're paying. So they're paying $541 a day. They can afford that. Why? Because they're probably doing about 10 times that a day in sales. They're probably doing 5410, or they have a low margin company and they're doing 8,000 a day. And they say they can afford 500, or they're doing only 4,000, but they're making 70% profit margin of the 4,000. They're making 2,800 of it. And their average daily balance is going to go, hey, they can afford 13% of sales. So we can give them 541 a day. So what they do is they figure out what can they afford per day based on their sales and their profit margin. How long are we willing to let them have this money based on the industry, the credit, the FICO score, the background, the time in business, the state they're in, all the political environment, all those things are made quick decisions. And they say, we'll allow this business based on who they are to have 541. That would take them 12 months. They'd pay back 100. We'd let them have them 12 months. They can afford 541. We'll let them have it 12 months. That means they pay us 130,000. We'll give them 100. So they work backwards on what you can afford per day, how long you can pay it for, how long they're willing to take the risk for. That determines the payback amount. They then work backwards and figure out the approval amount. Say you're eligible for 100 grand. Make sense? So that's why some business doing 8,000 a month. I'm sorry, 80. This would be 8,000 a day times 30 days is 240,000 a month. Only got approved for 100,000 because they can't afford, but only 541 a day because they have low profit margin. They're doing 240,000 a month. Yeah, well, they only got approved for 100. Why? Because they can only afford 541 a day. You see, they work on what they can afford to pay back so they don't put them in a bad spot. If sales didn't increase, can they afford that? Yes. Okay, then you're approved for 100 grand. Man, I thought they'd get approved for 200. Well, this one here is only doing $4,000 a day times 30, 120,000 a month, and they got approved for 100. Right? So you see how that comes up. That's how they come up with the numbers. You don't have to know all this, but I want you to know you don't have to present this, to the client, but I want you to know it. So when you get an offer, you don't have Wade, why was it? Well, this is why. Something in them said they can only afford 300 a day. Doesn't matter what their sales are. They can only afford 300 a day. We only want them to have it 6 months. So let's do that. 300 a day, we're going to let them do times 20 days equals $6,000 a month. And we're going to let them have it 6 months. That's 36,000 they're going to pay back. We want this at 1.5 because they're not real good. We're going to approve 24,000 times 1.5 is 36. We'll give them 24 grand. So that's, again, you don't have to remember all this, but I want you to know the logic that goes into these quick decisions where the next lender may go, no, I love this business. We'll let them keep it for a year. So we're going to approve them for 44,000 and they're only going to have to pay back 1.3. So they're going to pay back 56.6. And so on 40,000. So they're getting better terms, more approval. This is why you need a lot of lenders, but you need the right lenders. None of them gouge, none of them take advantage of you. All right. Now, another thing you want to inform every client. So you understand the approval amounts, the daily payment or weekly payment. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's daily. If it's weekly, there's, it's every week, every Friday or every Monday. Daily, it's 20 payments a month. Weekly, it's usually 4.3. Just like if you're paid, you get weekly. All right. So you know that on the terms. One more thing I want you to know is payment pause. Generally, these people are getting growth funds. That means if they're doing 10,000 a month now, you hope with the 10,000 we give them, they can grow it to 20. So paying that payment of $200 a day, what they could afford it at 10,000 in sales, hopefully they can really afford it with 20,000 sales, right? This is why they take the money. They're trying to grow their business. But sometimes their business doesn't grow. Sometimes it stays flat. And if it stays flat, affording that $200 a day might be hard. Right now, it wouldn't be that high because at 10,000, it wouldn't be that much. But let's just say it's 100 a day. Affording that $100 a day would be hard to pay back. 500 a week. Wow, I don't know if I can do it. So if sales stay the same, they got to pay it. They already agreed they could afford to pay it at this amount. But if sales go down and you're down to 8,000, a lot harder to pay $100 a day, isn't it? Yeah. So what we tell people is never ignore your payment, never not communicate. The thing you need to do most is communicate. That's a loud horn. You need to let your concierge know, it's the internal bank breezy team, or let you as the agent know, or they need to call the lender. Say, hey guys, I'm really struggling to keep this 100 because my sales, we had a hurricane and the island is no longer got a lot of traffic, or there's a threat of a hurricane. So all the vacationers canceled and my restaurant is eating it bad right now. I thought spring break would be a hit. Instead, it's a flip. And I'm only doing 8,000 a month instead of 10. I can't afford the 100. And what they'll do, they don't guarantee this, but I've never seen them not do this. If you really have a decrease in sales, they're not trying to kill you. So what they'll say is, okay, let's lower this in line with this, or let's pause it for a week to let you get caught back up. If you're having an issue, you had a truck breakdown and you're not doing revenue, and okay, we get it. There's something that happened. We'll pause it for a week. So communication is key. If they don't communicate, then, and they ignore it, lenders get scared and they start using collection pursuits. They assume you're trying to screw them, right? So they need to communicate. Also, if they change bank accounts, they need to communicate because these are auto payments. It looks like an attempt to run from the money, to not pay. That's what fraudulent people do. They take the money and then they open up a new bank account because the business isn't approved to take it out of that bank yet. So they got to go get a court order to take it out of that bank. That costs money. There's fees for that. There's all kinds of stuff. That's not good. So business owners, what they need to do is communicate. If they go through a tough time, going silent, it's the worst thing to do. All they got to do is pick up the phone and call and talk to the funder. And the funder's team wants to help accommodate. They're not going to take BS. You can't be doing fraudulent stuff. You can't be going to the casino and blowing the money. But if your sales really did dip and you can present the bank statements to show that, they're going to try to help you out. All right. So, but they're not going to do that for someone who's ignoring them and bouncing checks all day long, etc. So communication is key. Payment pause is possible. It's in just about every agreement that we have. Payment pause or payment lower, but it doesn't happen if they don't talk. Marketing, the business funding training, you want to go watch that training on marketing, but I want to say this in brief. Number one, warm market is your best market. Warm market are business owners you already know and business owners where you shop. frequent, businesses you frequent. We call that canvas as a customer. Okay, canvassing as a customer. When you're in there spending money, it's great to introduce yourself to the owner. Hey, I just wanted to give you this. Have you heard of the Bank Breezy funding platform? No, oh, man, it's unbelievable. I'm a funding agent with David Allen Capital, and we have an exclusive agreement with, or license agreement with Bank Breezy. This funding platform is second to none. What it does is it gets you the best offer. It's like the Travelocity for funding. So what you do is you go to this platform and it finds you the best offer from all the top providers with 1 5-minute application. I'm an agent for them. And if you ever have a need for capital, I'm just going to give you this card. I love your soup. I love eating here, and I'd love to help you any way I can. If you ever need funding, here's my card. Go ahead and fill that out and get the best offer. If I can ever answer any questions, let me know. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters that you say. Meet, greet, and inform. Meet, greet, and inform. How you doing, Joe? I've been eating here for a while. Love your soup. So glad I'm back. Hey, I just want to introduce myself. We've never talked. My name is David. I'm with David Allen Capital. We're a business funding company. I just want to give you my card because we love to help business owners grow. And we know banks are great, but banks can't always help businesses. And so I want to give you my card because we are partnered with a funding platform. We're not a lender. We partner with all the top lenders, and we find you the best offer in a 5-minute application. So if you ever need funding, there's no better source out there. All the ones you see on TV, they're in our platform, and many others. So we're going to find you the best offer in the fastest amount of time. 20 plus providers giving you the best offer, competing for your offer. So I just want to give you this card. Now, many times you can't get through all that because they're busy. I just want to introduce myself, give you this card because I'm in business funding. Oh, you're busy right now? Yeah, no problem. Let me give you this. I'll check back another time. What's your name, Tom? Great, Tom. I'm Dave. Here's my card. My wife's first funding years ago was a hair salon. They ended up getting 4 fundings from us. She had never been in there. She was at a Costco. They were next door. She went in, got her nails done. It was day before Christmas or something. And so she was trying to get her nails done at some place last minute. She always uses press-on nails. So I'm glad she paid for a setup one time. She never does. I think she's been to the salon once, and it was that time. And she left this card, and it had my name on it, which is awesome. Because then 4 months later, all of a sudden I get a funding application from this salon in Brighton. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. So I called her and she goes, yeah, your wife was in here and gave me your card. So my wife got the commission. They ended up getting 4 fundings. And all she did was say, he's in business funding. I just want to leave you this card. If you don't know what to say, you don't have to say much. Just, hey, can I give you this? Hey, can I give you this? Meet, greet, and inform. Canvas as a customer. All right. Business owners, text them, call them, inform them. In the business funding training, you can go right to the marketing and how to do it. Businesses businesses you frequent, social posts, social videos, social testimonials, you talking on a video, you doing a picture post, whatever from our posts, that you can do. Chamber of Commerce, B&I meetings, associations. These are huge. These are huge because you get to know all the business owners. All of a sudden you have your warm market of business owners, goes up by 400 or 500 just by joining one of these. We have a $500 refund to you if you join a chamber and you get $100,000 in funding. When you get $100,000 in funding from that chamber, we'll give you $500 toward your chamber fees in addition to your commission. Bank Breezy and DAC combined to cover that for you. It's a joint promotion we have for you. So that's cool. So join if you haven't already joined. Referral partners. A lot of my clients come from banks. Why? Why do you think a bank would refer a client? Here's bank. Here's manager. Here's you. You're a business owner. You've been banking with bank manager for 7 years. You go into bank manager because you have a great opportunity. You say, bank manager, I need a loan. Bank manager says, are you profitable for 2 years? Are you 700 plus FICO? Do you have real estate collateral to put up? Can you see that? Show us the business plan so we can approve that. How much do you need? Can your profit afford the payments? All the things that make the bank manager feel bad because most businesses don't qualify. And so bank manager can't say yes. Bank manager has to say, I'm sorry, you're just not eligible for our standard business lending. Maybe you can apply for a grant or a government SBA loan or something, but unfortunately, you're not eligible for. That's all they can say, and they know they're not even eligible for an SBA. So what happens is they learn of our alternative business funding, and they go, "Yeah, it's great, but most of them are crooks." Yeah, you're right, but not Bank Breezy. And they learn, oh my goodness, these guys are dealing with this company and this company, this company, this company, this company, this company, this company, this company. And they look at this and they go, wow, that's someone I can refer to my business partners. And where do you meet them? Here. You meet them by walking into the bank and just introducing yourself to the manager. We've got a referral partner training in the business funding on what to say. We even have a script on what you could say if you email them or call them to build referral partnerships with your local bank. And if you had just 10 referral partnerships referring you one client a month, you got 10 applications a month from 10 referral partners. Right? So everyone who works at a bank doesn't like to say no. Wouldn't it be better to say not us instead of no, not us? But here you go. Let me refer you to Joe or Jessica, who's a DAC agent, and they've got this cool thing called Bank Breezy Funding Platform. They're going to find you the best offer of all the alternative providers. The prices aren't cheap. They're more than a bank. You have to pay it off in a shorter period of time. It'll cost you about the same, but you got to pay it off in a year, year and a half instead, or 9 months instead of 5 years. But they can get you approved. You can grow your revenue and you can pay it off with your future growth and sales. And they're going to find you the best offer. They're going to get you an approval. So I wanted to send you to my buddy here. Referral partners. So these are the main now. Can you advertise? Yeah, if you know advertising. We don't teach advertising. We're going through some advertising courses. We're working with some advertisers. We will be testing advertising. We will be spending money on advertising to solve the advertising thing so that we can teach you advertising. But we won't teach something that we don't know for sure works. I've made money on advertising. I've got return on investment. I've also lost a lot of money on advertising. So it doesn't matter how good the funding platform is if you're spending money for the wrong people, right? And they're not understanding what they're seeing. So we're working on that, but you can advertise. If you know advertising, you know our funding platform. You know how we're better than banks. You know how we're better than alternative funding because we have all the best alternative funders. You know, we give them a guarantee. If we can't get them the best offer, you got some real neat things you can advertise. You can build a landing page out to sell, promote all of our problem with funding, problem with banks, solution called DAC, solution called the funding platform. You could do all that and you could do real good with it. Okay. And then send them to the application page when they've gone through that whole funnel. That's going to work. We're working on one ourselves. But until it's done and proven, we can't tell you about it. I see the day when Bank Breezy will be on Fox News. I see the day when we'll be getting millions of customers, not through our agents. But you know what that means? That means you guys will have an easier time getting Bank Breezy clients because everyone will know our name. It'll be like talking to someone about Chase. Imagine if everyone knows. I don't know that it'll happen for sure, but if we get this advertising thing down, just like Amway put their logos on, or Herbalife put their logos all over the top of a soccer team, it didn't hurt any Herbalife agents. They all were like, you know who Herbalife is? You know the soccer team. Yeah, that's what I represent. And you know who Bank Breezy is? Yeah, I've got a license with Bank Breezy. You're kidding. Just like AAA advertising or progressive advertising or United Healthcare advertising or any of them. Bank Breezy will be a household name. And you're here at the beginning, build an agency team of 1,000 people, 2,000 people, so that when it is a household name, you got 2,000 people telling people about their AAA of funding or their Travelocity of funding, right? That's what we've got our hands on, and we will get there. So these are your avenues for marketing. Now, of course, your game plan is the right way. Last thing I'll say is team building. Enroller responsibilities. You are responsible if you enroll someone to make sure they walk through and understand what we just covered. They need to go through it until the LMS system's live. At that point, the LMS will make them go through it, and you'll have people coming out the other end who are done. But in closing, I'm going to go to your questions in a minute. world, everyone can join for free. They sign up at DAC. We send them a welcome letter, say, hey, go to the resource center, get yourself trained and get out there and go to work. And here's a game plan document. And here's your links. And everything goes from a welcome letter. And 1 out of 3 doesn't open their welcome letter. Another 5 out of 10 don't do the funding training. And then they're vocally inept and ignorant. Now, I don't mean ignorant like they're not smart. I mean, they're ignorant to the funding that you just saw. And so they go out and tell people things they can't do. And we get them an approval offer. We get them 100 grand and they got to pay back 135 and the agent's furious. They got to pay $135,000. Are you guys crooks? We said 1.18 to 1.5. You didn't watch the training? No, I didn't. I thought they get 10-year terms. I thought it was monthly payments. Yeah, well, where'd you get that? The BizOp overview doesn't say that. The funding training doesn't say that. Nothing we've ever said says anything like that. So where'd you get that mindset from? Why'd you make those assumptions? Well, because it's a business loan. Yeah, well, it's business loan. They should go to the bank if they're eligible for a business loan, but they weren't eligible, right? That's why they came to us. So they're not going to get a business loan from a bank. They're going to get an alternative funding loan this way. So unfortunately, we deal with support department, Bank Breezy. We get funding offers. They don't take it because they thought they were going to get monthly payments and they thought they were going to have a 7-year term because they're not educated. The agent didn't educate them the right way. They didn't pay attention to what the website said. So we're working on the website to hone in the funnel better as well for clients. But this is the agent. This is the partner with us page. Partner/your ID number. David Allen Capital, /partner.com, right? /partner/ID number. Today they go through the funnel and they're not trained. Some are trained, some aren't. We're asking you as the enroller to make sure, don't enroll someone if you're not going to make sure you hold their hand and say, listen, you're doing my brand called David Allen Capital and Bank Breezy a disservice if you start mentioning our company without going through the funding training in the DACRC. So go into the DAC Resource Center.com, and the first thing you're going to see is a business funding training. It's 1 hour long. If you're not willing to do that, please resign from the company. Don't do DAC. In fact, I tell people before they sign up, if you're not going to go through the hour training, don't even join. Because you heard our company, right? You're not going to do that, right? Yeah, you're going to watch the training. Great. So I'll send you my link to join. Call me after you finish the funding training and we'll do a game plan. That's all you got to say. Call me after you finish the funding training and we'll do the game plan. Because there's no LMS yet. So you got to be the LMS. You got to tell them to go here and get their funding training. This funding training should be right here, right now. Eventually it'll be required. But that's what you say to them. You tell them, go to the funding training and call you for a game plan. That's your responsibility as the enroller today. Tomorrow, sometime in the near future, this quarter, when they go through, they can't become an agent unless they're trained. At this point, they're an agent. Prior to that, they're just a referral source. And they make 1/4 what you guys make. So if they want to make nothing, if they want to get paid like a friend of yours who's just a referral source sending you leads, which is a lot less because we're going to have a new referral source rank, which is just a referral partner. Anyone who's joined here but not gone through this to get the accreditation to be an agent, they're not trained. They're up here. They're just a referral source and they get paid a lot less. Actually, they're up here. They don't get paid the same because they're adding more work to Bank Breezy team. They're adding more work to the support team. They're adding more work. And so we're not going to pay them as much because they're inept and ignorant to our process. A referral source, that's fine. I got some people that just want to be referral sources and I don't want to have to pay them out of my commission and I'll just be able to set them up as a referral source and away they go. So that's coming. But until that's here, right here, you do this part. You make sure they go here, make sure they did that, and make sure they call you for a game plan. Fair enough? Fair enough. That's what you're going to do. Now, in the future, so if you put 100 people in here, you got to call. You got to communicate with 100, make sure they do this. That's a lot of work. Do it anyway, or only refer 1 or 2 or 3. But let's say you have this situation. Now you put 100 people in, and 40 spit out here, they're trained. You got a 40-person team already ready to go. Put 1,000 in here. Our website funnel for new agents, we're going to show the problem with just about every type of home-based business, the solution of DAC, the problem of bank funding, the solution of alternative funding, and the solution and the problem of alternative funding, that no one funder satisfies them all, 100 of them are crooks. And the solution is Bank Breezy, revenue-based platform. Boom. So you got the problem with home-based businesses, the solution. The problem with banks, the solution, alternative funding. The problem with alternative funding, the solution in alternative funding. You've got it answered. Plus, you got a guarantee on the business funding. You got a guarantee from our business. You get a license, the $2,500 license covered for Bank Breezy license by being in DAC, and you got a guarantee. We put our money where our mouth is guarantee. I love that. And designing a logo on it's gonna be cool. All right, but so now I don't care if you recruit 20,000 people and put them into this. Will I be running ads to this? Absolutely. Once this is live, I'll be running ads. I hope to recruit 100 people a week. Why? Because I'll have 40 trained new people a week. I'll do Zooms for these 40. I'll do 40-person game plans on a Zoom. And so will you. And we'll have things for these new onboard groups. We'll have week 1, week 2, week 3 for all these people. You just started, you got to go to the week 1 journey. Week 2, you start next week. Week 3, you start next week. And you got these 40, and it's systematized cookie cutter because we've got this part solved. So then we have another funnel over here that these 40 go into, and this is the leadership development funnel. And some spit out here, and they're just going to be agents getting customers. Some spit out here, and they're team builders. Some spit out here, and they're leaders. And you get 4 of them here, and they're going out and leading new states and new cities. This is systematization. This is scalable. We've got a scalable platform. We've got a scalable back LMS being built right now for onboarding. And then I don't care if you recruit 400 people and only talk to the ones that come out down here. It's incumbent on them to do this part. They don't go through and take the quiz and pass the quiz and become a certified trained agent. That's on them. You don't owe them any more time. I don't care if you run ads and get 5,000 people a week to join. We'll support them because 500 of them will spit out at the bottom here. The 10% will go through it, or 20% or 30. And then what happens when we tell you people this, when you build a group like this, and all this works because of how good the funding platform is. So that means the agents can have success. If you refer people, 80% are going to get approved. Not all of them will take the offer. More will take it in the future because they'll know what the funding is. But if you refer a bunch of people, let's just say this is you here, and you refer, each one of these is 10 people, not one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 80 people, because there's 10 each, let's just say, in these pods. And that means you recruited, let's say you had 700 answer an ad over 6 months. You run an ad and you get, 100 a month, 25 a week to join a free business. But you only get 80 of those 700 spit out here. You got 80 trained agents frontline to you. And what are they doing? I remember before technology, we have 70,000 agents of record right now, maybe just under 70,000 agents of record. A lot didn't renew, so they're not even active agents anymore. But let's just say we have 7,000 agents. When this goes live and 70 of them only, I'm one of those 70, I can promise you. I'm paid in the pay plan. I don't want a salary. I don't want to be limited to a salary. I want the pay plan. And if I'm making $500,000 a month or $5,000 a month or $1 million a month, it's because I earned it, right? Just like you, on the same pay plan as you. So if I'm going out, if there's 7,000, I'm only talking to 70 of them. People go, I don't know about this. You know what? I've gone from 1 to 300,000 agents. I've gone from 1 to 300,000 agents. I've gone to 1 to 70,000 agents. I don't think for a moment that this won't be 300,000 agents in 2 years. Not even a thought in my mind. When this goes live, I wouldn't doubt that we add 30,000 agents a month. That quick. Because, and you can be here. There you go, why? Because it's viral, it's free, it scales. There's no barrier to entry. There's nothing but benefit. It's all scalable. 100% of it's scalable. So I know these numbers might be huge, but 4 or 5 of you may get it and believe it, not just hear it and know the numbers, but believe it could be you. I've got 412 people I emailed today that all came into my Craigslist ad. 412 in 2015. I ran it for like 3 months. 412 joined the old way. I stopped running it because I couldn't work with all of them. Maybe it's 421. Tyler, maybe you can look at the mailing list and the agent. You don't have to look at it, but I think it's 412 or 421. That was from 3 or 4 months worth of work only. You got 80 and it took you a year to have 80 front lines, and they just do one funding a month. And you're averaging $100 each. 80 times 100 is $8,000. If you just had 80, not 80 in your group, I mean 80 front lines, 80 in your whole group, not 80 front lines like I'm talking about. Those 412 are all front line to me in DAC. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 80 in your whole group. Do one funding a month. It's $8,000 a month at $100 average override. That's about a $30,000 funding. If you do it the right way and you get your team doing it the right way, your average funding should be about 80,000, and your override should be more like 250. And now you got 80 times 250, you're at $20,000 a month. If you just had 80 in your whole group, not a week, a month. So when we talk to someone and say, if you had 200 fundings a week, that's over $1 million a year. Why do I say this? Because there's coaches out there running scale systems, making $1 million a year, charging $4,000 for coaching programs. How to run an agency, it's only $4,000. How to advertise on leads, it's only $4,000 down and $199 a month. And they go out and sell 25 or 250 packages a month, or 250 packages a year, and they make $1 million. Next year they got to do it again, and they got to worry about FTC complaints, and they got to worry about chargebacks, and they got to worry about credit card holds, because they will get their credit cards held. You charge that much money, you're going to have some people charge back and say, I didn't want to spend that $5,000 after all. They overpromised and underdelivered. I want my money back. Charge back. Visa holds their credit cards. It happens all the time. We don't have to worry about any of that here. 200 a week is over $1 million. 200 at 100, $30,000 funding. Let's go to your questions. I know I went real long. It will not be this long when it's in the LMS, and there'll be actually more stuff added, but more concise in video, and some stuff will be taken away. So more will be added, some will be taken away, but this gives you an idea of primarily here. This can all be talked about in 4 minutes. This can be talked about in about 30 minutes. So it's about a 35-minute deal. And if they come through that and they understand this, and then we have the marketing training is what they pick up next, optional, go get some training on how to get customers. That's optional. We don't need to hold their certification for knowing how to get customers. We need to know their certification for that they know the rules. All right, who's got questions? Any questions at all? Let's go to questions first about anything covered, or comments from anybody. I don't think the videos are turned on for anyone. Sorry. Let me start by reading. You guys have been answering the questions in the chat. I love business. Thank you. Thank you. I always get fired up every time I watch you present your opportunity. This is truly no opportunity like this one. Grab it now. You will not regret it. Thank you. iPhone, you sent that to me, not to everybody, but thank you. After the initial interview, is there a video to send a prospect with an app for them to complete? There's not a video except in your the application page in your website. If you go to your website under Business Capital, you'll see, and we are adding a video there. There's going to be a 4 to 6 minute video. I was working on the script today. The script on paper shows 4 to 7 minutes. I want to get it down under 3 minutes, so we got to pull more out. But yeah, there will be a video on our app page. The partner page, as Harlequin said, there is a video there for BizOp overview. The one we did tonight will be put in.
Just to let you know, a lot of the questions have been answered. So I would ask that people either re-ask their questions or raise their hand to ask questions, because I've been keeping up with most of them.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reading the comments. Any questions, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, I'll keep reading the comments.
We got 2 hands went up.
Oh, good. So the ones that say everyone that you answered, Tyler, everyone has read the answer too, so I don't have to read the
Correct.
question, read the answer. Perfect. Thank you. Some of them are direct to me and I'll answer those. But go ahead with the
Rochelle,
hands
you
were
can
up.
unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. You hear me?
Yes, I can, Bill. How you doing,
Yeah.
buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you. Back office. The people who have not renewed, will they be eventually flushed from the list of agents back there?
Eventually, yes. We're keeping them in for a period of time, but for now they're still there. Eventually, they'll be flushed. They're there because we wanted you guys to have time to try to reignite them and get them going again. But eventually, they're going to be pulled from your back office. We have
Okay.
no. We're not in a rush to do that because, you know, they're there. We have a rule that once they've been canceled, they cannot rejoin for 2 months. Once they've been canceled. So you're inactive for 6 months and you don't renew, it's free. You don't renew, then after 6 months, now your opportunity is canceled. And for 2 months, you cannot rejoin. After 2 months, and if you try to, it'll say, sorry, your distributorship is canceled and you cannot rejoin. Your social security number was already on file. You cannot rejoin for at least 60 days. And so for 6 months, though, we start telling them a month before their renewal date, they got to renew. It's free. Anytime they log in, they got to renew. And then we email them and email them and email them for 6 months saying, you're going to be canceled. Right now, you're inactive. You're not earning commissions, but you can re-engage just by hitting renew. Sign in and renew. You must renew to sign in. So if they're trying to sign in at all, they're renewing. But after 6 months, then they're switched to canceled and they're no longer an agent with us. They can come back 60 days later and join.
Ray, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Dave. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Ray.
Hey, it's been a minute. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I do have a question in regards to your LMS system that you're coming out with. I had asked this question on Ellen's call. I probably was week for last, whenever I was on the call. But what I wanted to know is once you implement this system, once you set the system up, would it be like a expiration date of when you have to do the training, or is it going to be unlimited? How's that going to work out?
When someone joins, they will be considered a referral partner until they complete it, and they'll be paid as a referral partner. Existing agents will have to do it as they renew, but we're going to give them more grace period, obviously, because they're in at a higher commission now, and they join with a comp plan with a higher commission. So we're probably going to give them 6 or 9 months. Unfortunately, we don't want people to find out about it and feel they got underpaid. They didn't know. They signed an agreement to make 40% of bonus revenue. Now we're lowering them. So we're going to give them time, but on their renewal date to renew, they're going to have to complete it.
Okay.
So it may be, the way it ends up working, it may be that your second month you got to do it because that's your renewal date. You know, so
Okay.
it'll be part of the renewal process.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. And then it'll be ongoing. We're gonna have all kinds of good stuff in there.
John, you can unmute yourself.
Reference links. Thank you, Tyler, for all those links. Hopefully you guys are seeing those. I'm looking for the ones direct to me. Go ahead, Sean, if you want to ask questions.
Right.
Ladanya.
Not really question, but was going to go ahead and leave a comment for everybody. Because I noticed that there's a lot of new people on here, and I think that's really awesome. I seen that the attendance was well above 100 tonight. But as somebody being with DAC, I can honestly encourage all new people to definitely use the tools in the back office and take the advice that David and the rest of the team are giving you, because it's sound advice going forward. For me, I know that at one point I worked with you, David, and we set up a game plan. That game plan I've actually stuck to, and it's really working well for me. I've made joining up and reaching out to my chamber and the BMI agencies too locally. I've actually made a lot more business contacts, and I've limited myself. I know I mentioned it this morning on our Zoom call. to just two major industries. I do construction, which covers everything with the contractors, landscapers, construction workers, and I've got it down to restaurants. Before DAC, I worked a lot of years in the restaurant industry, so that's something that I'm familiar with to help business owners there. But if you're utilizing everything that you're learning in the training videos, you're gonna be very successful with DAC 100%. I guarantee that. The best decision I ever made was to come over to DAC and try to build an agency and make this a full-time thing. So I have 100% confidence in myself that I'm going to be a success this year. And honestly, I also have zero regrets about coming over to DAC. It's one of the best businesses that I've worked with, and it's got one of the best platforms I've seen in a very long time.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate all your kind words, all your comments today. And thanks for all you're doing, man. Got your back. If I can help you, let me know. Keep running the game plan and keep leading by example. Welcome back.
LaDanya Thomas, you can unmute yourself.
LaDanya, are you able to unmute yourself? Guess not. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Now we can. Yep.
Okay, awesome. I just want to say before I ask my question, you delivered a lot of great information today. So I really appreciate that. I needed this information. But my question is more for like the approval process whenever an application is submitted. I've gotten a couple of applicants where they got denials for high-risk banks. So is it a way that we, can know what type of banks that are normally in that list or what?
When you say for high risk banks, you must be talking about Giggle or Biddy, and it's not necessarily high risk banks. It's they can't link their bank account, so that's one issue. Plaid is one company that's got about 95% of the banks, but about 5% just can't link. Credit unions, usually smaller credit unions. Same with Biddy, uses Decision Logic and Plaid, and there's about 4 or 5% of banks that just won't link with them. So there's going to be some declines. But then there's other things that aren't really business bank accounts, like Square. Square Wallet is not a bank account. Venmo is not a bank account. Those are digital wallets that are not federally secured bank accounts that can do ACH deductions, auto payments, etc. So you'll have some people who go, I use Venmo or I use Square and I just keep it in my Square wallet and I'm doing 20,000 a month. Yeah, we can't help you. You can end the instant funders, but that's not a bank account. That's a Square wallet where you're just storing money. So it could be someone like that. That might be the issue. Wade's here still. Wade, are you aware of anything other than Biddy or Giggle or what I just shared on the business bank account security?
Yeah, she's talking about online banks. There's a lot of banks that are not brick and mortar. Some we can actually do Square now, if they don't put it in the wallet. And but you got Found, Novo. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And you've already answered it. Everything you said is accurate. They can't schedule payments. All of these lenders schedule their payments out for payments, whether it's weekly or daily. And you can't pull those things back. So that you can't do that with these type banks.
So any of the online banks or wallets, like you said, Square, we can do as long as they're not putting it in their wallet. That means they're using it as a processor and putting it into a bank, right? Into a bank account.
That's correct.
So
Like Blue Vine or something like that?
No, can't do Blue Vine. Can't do Blue Vine.
Okay.
Yeah, those are wallets. Those
And
are really critical wallets.
American Express, all those, they call them bank accounts. We can't do any of that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that was helpful to know because I was just assuming whenever I saw the high risk, I automatically assumed maybe it was some type of company. I didn't know, but that was very helpful. Okay, I got it.
Good. And it's, that the number of those is growing, and I'm sure one day there'll be a solution. on that, but it's part of the ACH network, the automated clearinghouse for withdrawing money and sending money through the ACH process is how all these payments are done. And you can't do that with certain non-banks. All right. We have
All
a
right.
couple other hands up. Thank you, though. Great question.
Leland Burton, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And David, that's a great presentation, man. It's a really interesting opportunity. So I appreciate you sharing, and I'm very happy to be here. Just a quick question. The LMS system, what's like your target date for that to become active? Do you have like
Well, it's done. The content's not in it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as we create the content, it goes live. There's one, we do have a couple interconnection or activities with the DAC back office yet for qualifications that has to get done, but that's probably only a few days worth of work. So it's really creating the content now. And that's what I'm doing now. We're working on content to go into that. And it very well could become something. I mean, literally, we could take the video we just did. It's not ideal, and break it into 7 chunks and put a quiz for each one and throw it in. And, you know, you could have it effectively working, just not as effective as we want it to be. So this is kind of like a first draft of some play around. I've got a lot of notes for trainings. I've done a lot of videos. And so it's just not sure I'm glad we covered what we covered today. There's things I would add and things I'd take away.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Fine tune it, but it's soon. It's going to be, hopefully it'll be, you know, by the end of March, it's live. We wanted it live in January. So it's on me that it's not. It's built already, thanks to Tyler. All right.
Okay, we have
Carl.
Carl with a K. You can unmute yourself.
It's me again.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Fabulous. I feel like I've been drinking from a fire hose for the last 2 hours.
You have?
Just want to back up to Giggle. You were talking about the commission and the funding. Does Giggle actually, let's just say my client did not make his first payment. Am I going to get an email or something that lets me know that they have failed, or?
We don't know until after we're paid. So the only way you know is by not getting paid. And we're working on a system.
So we won't know if it's a certain case that we're working with. So I just curious about that one. So okay, because I think it's been about the right amount of time, but I didn't see anything. So enough said.
Well, if it funded last month, you'll be paid on the 20th of this month, which would be
That's right. So I still got a couple days.
Yeah, actually, it's not even, I don't know if it's paid then or if it's uploaded then. Morgan, Morgan's not with us right now. I think it goes in on the 20th. I'm not sure if it goes out on the 21st or if it's paid on next month's. I think it's paid on the daily. So yeah, you'll get paid somewhere around well, we got the email today. So they're supposed to give it to us by the 15th, but we got the email today. So we'll be uploading it. We got to work through it. There's some issues there. We got to, not all the clients are DAC clients. Some are Bank Breezy licensed clients. So we end up breaking it out for DAC and Bank Breezy. So we need a day to do that. It may already be done, but you'll see it on the 20th.
Yeah, I got 2 emails today.
Absolutely. We will end up having, Carl, a process that tells you, sorry, your client defaulted. You will not be earning a commission. Right now, we've requested that of our programmer so we can just upload things and we put 0 commission and then it kicks out an email to you. Right now, we'd have to manually email it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Regina. You can unmute yourself.
Great presentation. I had a question on the folks that you recruit underneath you. If you're a referral agent, you haven't had a chance to go through the training completely and you start recruiting people, is there a difference in what you get paid out based on your recruit?
Referral partner will not get paid on recruits. They only get paid on the clients they refer. They cannot build a team. They can build a team, they won't earn on it. In fact, they might not even have a partner with us page. So we're working that through. Right now, they do have a partner with us page, but I'd like that to be eliminated. Because I don't want people to recruit a bunch of people, then go through and upgrade because they're not training people the right way. So as of right now, if they're just a referral partner, they will not get paid on their team. That
Okay.
now that referral partnership doesn't exist yet, but once
Okay.
it launches and exists, they won't. And right now, everyone automatically gets minimum 10% of anyone you personally enroll if you're an agent. So agents of the future will get that as well.
Okay. So you have to become.
I'm sorry.
I got muted. I'm saying you have to go through the training to become an agent, and then once you become an agent, that's when you start getting paid out on your recruits.
You got it.
Okay.
But for right now, everyone's agents. So you're all agents, and we don't have a referral partner position right now. We will in the future.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Carrie Bohawk. She can unmute herself.
Robert, you'll be next. Carrie, if you can unmute yourself, go ahead and hit the unmute button. Robert, get ready to hit your unmute button so we can move along.
Hello there. Sorry about
Carrie.
that. It wasn't
Oh,
letting
no
me
worries.
unmute.
No worries. Thank you.
So I'm super new and I haven't gotten through all the training, so I apologize if I ask some ignorant questions. But
No worries.
we talked a lot about the pay structure around the loans and the lending side. Are commissions and things around the non-loan products similar? So like if we have someone who signs up for the card processing and things of that nature, is it as straightforward as the lending?
Yeah, it's similar. It's a different plan. We're actually merging them. They're all going to be one plan. So I will say this right now, you get 20 to 50% of the residual revenue. And residual revenue is created every month based on what we earn on that client. And that's one of the things. Remember, I said I'd add stuff. One of the things I'd add is a 2-minute training on payment processing and a 2-minute training on healthcare and how you're paid on them. But the answer is yes, if you go into the Agent Resource Center, dacrc.com, and you'll see the funding training playlist. If you click on residual, personal commission residually, you'll see a 4 or 5 minute video that explains it all. And that'd be better than me trying to cover it. I might miss a little thing right here. But you do get a percentage between 20 and 50% of the residual revenue that your customer creates each month. Residual revenue we earn.
And is the amount of effort about the same in sign up where you're kind of guiding them to applications and then it gets handed off?
Yep. Our payment processing, you guide them to the form. The experts take it from there. Healthcare, the same thing. You have them fill out the request a quote and licensed agents take over. Everything we offer, we do it as a referral source where you're the referral source and let the experts handle it. That way, if you're brand new, it doesn't slow you down. You know, experts will be there to take care of, and you get to tell people that. Clearwater, they're going to be talking to licensed health insurance agents, whether they put on a health share or move them to the Affordable Care Act or major medical. Obviously, open enrollment's closed for most people, but the licensed agent knows what's product's best, and they've got a duty to put them on the best product. We only get paid if they go on the health share, which most do, but some don't. They have pre-existing conditions. Same with payment processing. You refer them, and then the experts take over with their point of sale systems, moving them over to dual pricing. They handle all that for you. And you can go look at the payment processing training and healthcare training in the back office too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great questions. And welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, Robert, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, David, this is Robert.
Yes.
Hey, I love the presentation. It was just awesome. I know this is more likely in the back office. I just want to ask this question. Do any of the funding agencies that we have, like the Bank Breezy and the Bitsy and whatnot, do they do loans for foreign companies? Or is it only U.S.-based companies?
They must have a U.S. bank account.
Right, I know that.
Yeah. Must have a individual who's got a U.S. driver's license or U.S. identity. U.S.
So if they had a corporate account or corporate headquarters in a foreign country, and then they have another one here in the States, then they can apply.
Yes.
Okay.
You got to have a bank account here, of course, as you know. Yep. I thought I saw Harlequin's hand up.
Hey, David.
Hi,
Can
Harlequin.
I add on to that we also do funding in Canada?
We do. We do funding in Canada as well, guys. We don't have as many lenders there, but we've got enough that we can find the best offer. So yeah, and commissions are longer. Unfortunately, if you're a Canadian agent, commissions take longer because you can't get a Relevate card. Relevate is our pay card. And so it takes longer for you to get a paper check. It takes quite a bit of time for it to ship there. Or sometimes we can pay you through some other wallets. So we're working with Relevate to get wallets for people who live in other countries. It doesn't exist right now.
Yeah.
Or working. So
Okay.
there's a delay, but yes,
Well,
thank you for
that wasn't my question. I just, since he happened to ask that. No, my comment is that thank you for doing this training this evening.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. And one comment that I will make, because a lot of people made comments about this, the only way that somebody is going to be successful is if they personally do the training. Their upline is not going to be able to do that for them. So if you want to be successful, you have to do the training yourself. I've never seen anybody on my team that's not that's successful that hasn't done it. And your upline can help, but it's not a requirement. There's a ton of successful agents that they don't have an active upline. So this is your business, take ownership of it.
Very well said. Very well
Yeah.
said. And the good thing is when the funnel goes live, they won't be in without it, right? So that's why I know we've been talking about doing this for years, and it's time, isn't it?
Absolutely. The other thing that I want to do is I want to give a challenge to people. Whenever the funnel does go live, you were talking about how many people you were wanting to recruit. And I think my team probably has the record for that there were over 3,000 people recruited on the team in 30 days. So putting a challenge out there for people.
Amen. We'll see how quickly we can take that record down. That's a pretty good record. It may take a little time, but it's going to be doable. And that's in the
totally
team.
doable.
In the team. All right. So I had a couple direct questions. The first one is, what's the difference between us and the telemarketers calling? Well, the telemarketers represent one company. That one company is a crapshoot. Also, that telemarketer is paid on commission, and they're paid to bump you up and charge you as much as you're willing to pay. So they're going to give you the worst offer you can get for that client, more than likely, because they represent one funder. That funder may or may not like your industry. That funder will lie and tell you they can get you an offer that they're going to change on the funding call. It is notorious. It's kind of like certain industries in the car business used to be. They tell you can get it for $333 a month until you're there to pick the car up. And then the finance department needs to meet with you because they found something and they got to add $17 a month to the payment. And you go, oh, it's only 17, 333 to 349. Okay, I can do it. I'll do it. And they just added $16 a month times 5 years onto their agent's sales profit. And you're okay with it. And it happens in the car business. It happens in the house business. It happens in and it happens in our business, not with DAC, not with Bank Breezy, but with our competitors. So what's the difference? Telemarketers are paid on commission. They pad you as much as they can, or pad the client. They represent one funder, that one funder, or they may represent 2 or 3 if they're an independent sales organization, but they don't represent all the top 20, and they're going to give you an offer that's not ideal for your client. So we want to tell our clients this, that if they're not using the platform, they're overpaying. It's that simple. They're either going to get more declines than they need to, they're going to get less approvals than they need to, and they're going to pay more than they need to. It's that simple. And if they don't believe us, apply and we'll give them $500 if we're wrong. $500 gift card if we're wrong, and we've never had to. So that should give you the confidence right there. We've had people leave us and go direct and say, I'm going to just do it direct because I can make a higher percentage. Then they're chasing documents and people are complaining and they're violating rules in California and they're violating rules in New York because they don't know what they're doing correctly. They can't get documents. They didn't know they couldn't get documents. They don't have a secured uploadable website to send those documents. And now they're violating different security issues and then get nailed for it. So And the only way they can make more is by padding it up so much more, and they got to do all the work. So we say earn most of the commission, earn a fair commission. It's not the highest, but it's the lowest amount of work for the highest possible product value to your customer. And you get a reasonable commission, and you can scale a team of thousands of agents who use the same thing. So we got the cat's meow, if you ask me. Those are all the direct questions. I had one other person ask me about a company that I know for being personal loans. I'll look into it to see if they do business loans as well. I think they do, but not traditional. I think they're more of a loan lead company, but I'll check it out. I'll find out. But I do know that, we had a personal loan company come to us and say, we want Bank Breezy funding platform to send us the personal loans. And we did that 3-4 years ago, and 9 out of 10 don't get approved. And when they get approved, they're better off just going to get a credit card. They're better if they can get approved on these deals, they can get approved at a credit card. And that's what they should do. So we do have a giant $1 billion personal loan company now wanting to talk with us, and we'll entertain the conversation, but we're the business funding leader, and we're going to lead with it. And 3-4 years from now, we'll be like the Travelocity. We'll be the Rocket Mortgage of business funding. We'll be the Travelocity of business funding. That's what we're going to be. And we're only going to get better and better and better and better and better and better. So scale creates economies of scale. The bigger you are, the better you get, the better the deals get, the better everything gets, and the better your opportunity gets. And the ones that are here first movers, you'll have teams of 20, 30,000 agents one day. And most of them will just be little part-time, 1 or 2 deals a year, affiliates, but you'll have 20,000 of them. God bless you all. This is officially over today. We've taken all your questions as we promised we would. We've taken all your comments. I thank you. Sorry the videos were off. We'll make sure the videos are on next time because we love to see y'all cheering and having fun. Go in the chat bar if you're still here and just do a 77777 so you know how to use chat and so that we know you're still engaged. Wow, over 100 people still on with us. 77777. We're going to get tonight's business opportunity put on the partner page. Get the word out, get the word out, get the word out. Let's go, let's grow. Let everybody you know. God bless you. And take advantage of we put our money where our mouth is guarantee. We won't make a dime on you until you've made $1. So please go make